For this video, I will be talking about the World Cup jerseys that the National Hockey League just unveiled for the 2016 World Cup of Hockey that will be in Toronto later this year as of this video. So, like the majority of the videos I have been posting on YouTube, this will be another video where I talk about a set of jerseys, and I will be sharing my thoughts on this set of jerseys that were unveiled for the 2016 World Cup. So, for those of you who don't know about the World Cup of Hockey, it was a tournament hosted every 4 years, about 12 years ago, and before that in the 90s. And the NHL decided to take a 12-year hiatus from this tournament, but have decided to bring it back again. And the NHL has decided that, you know what, if we can make some more money, let's throw another tournament together, and why not? So, for this tournament here, these jerseys are very interesting for two reasons. Number one, they're a new set of jerseys for a new hockey tournament that has not been seen in 12 years. And the second thing, and what I would say is the biggest, most interesting part of this unveiling, is that this is the first time that Adidas will be taking the helm as the producers of the jerseys for the NHL. So what you see here, and what you will see throughout this video, is Adidas' first official step into making the jerseys for the National Hockey League as Adidas and not Reebok, which, for those of you who don't know, Reebok is actually owned by Adidas. So all the jerseys you've been seeing in the NHL for a long time now have actually been Adidas, except the jerseys have been under the Reebok name. So I thought I'd share that real quick before I got started. So anyways, now to the main part of my video, the jerseys themselves. So now, before I talk about each specific country and for each specific team, because not every team in this tournament will be a country, I'm going to talk about a few things about these jerseys that Adidas has made that I don't like. Now, the first thing I don't really care for is the new collars, and sorry about that, my computer just went into standby mode. Anyways, the first thing I do not like about these jerseys whatsoever is those three stripes on the sides, on the bottom sides of these jerseys. Now, that is Adidas' trademark three stripes, and I honestly hope to hell that these stay the hell away from the NHL's jerseys. As a fan of Major League Soccer, I hate seeing every single MLS team with the Adidas three stripes on the top of the arms. I mean, I'm used to them now, and in my opinion, they're not the worst thing in the world, but I wish that more teams didn't have to always have the three stripes. I think it's kind of annoying, to be honest, and I think a lot of teams would look a little bit better without them. But anyways, where MLS can make it work and has made it work, these jerseys here, I think they're in the way. They're the typical side panels that have plagued a lot of the Reebok era jerseys in the NHL, especially for teams such as Colorado and Calgary. And I hope that these side panels don't make their entrance into the NHL. Now, another thing that I don't really care for are the new Adidas collars. And I've noticed them this season, especially with the NHL's recent Stadium Series jerseys for the Blackhawks, Wild, Red Wings, and Avalanche, as well as the New York Islanders' new Brooklyn alternate. And I'm not a fan of these new overlapping collars. I mean, these collars in this case are okay, but I see, if you notice, they're half one color and half the other. And I'm not a fan of that either, because it reminds me of it is what people would say is a toilet seat collar, where, as you can tell, it kind of has the collar has a bit of a shape to it that's a bit reminiscent of a toilet seat, which is a problem that Nike has been having with their NFL jerseys for a while. But anyways, I'm going to get started reviewing these jerseys, and I'm going to start, as you can tell, with Sweden. Truth is, I think their jerseys are quite nice. I mean, the truth is, their simple Tre Kronor jerseys have become a classic, and it's nice to see that Adidas hasn't messed with them too much. Now, the one thing I wish they would have fixed is the hem stripe around the waist. As you can see on the blue jersey, it's cut off by those 3 stripes. I wish that those 3 stripes weren't there, and just the hem stripe all the way around, and then the same thing on the yellow jersey with blue on the bottom. I think that if they would have done that, and of course fixed the collar so it wasn't as quite that shape, where it was yellow all the way around on the blue and blue all the way around on the yellow, I think they would look a lot better. But overall, these are actually pretty damn good in my opinion. Let's move on to the Finnish jerseys for Finland. They're not bad. I don't hate them. I mean, all 16 of the World Cup jerseys have the Adidas 3 stripes. So for me to keep talking about it for every jersey, I'm not going to bother. All I'm going to say is that overall, I don't like them. So these jerseys, you know what? I think they're a little bit too plain. I feel like, and I'm definitely not a fan of the cut-off stripes once again on the front. Plus, I'm not a fan of the logo on the white jersey. Now, I understand that it is the Finnish coat of arms, but you have this red and gold crest, but there's no red or gold anywhere on the white jersey. And on top of that, the blue jersey is royal blue and white, and the white jersey is white and royal blue, but the numbers and I would assume the nameplate on the back will be a navy blue. That's just, in my opinion, that's a little bit random. But overall, these are okay, and I do wish that the little Finnish coat of arms on their blue jersey wasn't there. I think that would have looked a lot better. But overall, these are not too bad. And you'll notice a bit of a common theme in these jerseys, that they're very simple and they're not too bad, but they definitely leave a lot to be desired. Now, I'm not a big fan of the Somi wordmark on the front as big as it is. I prefer their Suomi crest that they've been using for quite a few years now. And I think that if it was on the front of both of these jerseys, I think they would honestly be a little bit better. Now, moving on to a new team created specially for this tournament. And as you can see here, these are the jerseys for the North American World Cup team, featuring players that are 23 years of age or younger. Now, these jerseys are very interesting. The logo is completely made up. It's completely new. And the jersey designs are very, very different and very youthful looking, which makes a lot of sense. When you're dealing with a young team, I can see people wanting a young, youthful jersey, and these do the trick. But the truth is, I don't think they're bad. I think they're actually kind of neat. I think it's cool that they managed to create something entirely new, and I honestly think that the triangle with the North American abbreviation NA, and let's see if I can get you a little bit closer. You notice those, I don't know if you can see it here, but you notice the Roman numerals on the arms? They're also in the triangle as well. And I think it's a cool logo. As for the jerseys, the black one's pretty cool. I think it's cool. But I definitely am not a big lover of the design. I don't like the weird gray effect, weird gradient effect, or I'm not sure what it is on the gray striping of these, but I don't really care for that. And if it was just a solid dark gray, I think it would be a lot better. And once again, I wish that the stripe around the waist went all the way around. And for the white jersey, I really don't like the gray standing out as much as it does. I think it would have looked a lot better if the gray areas were black on the arms with a little bit of the gray as an accent. But overall, these aren't too bad. I mean, for a young North American team and something completely new, I think they're actually pretty cool. And I must say though, the black one is a hell of a lot better than the white one. And besides that, I mean, they're definitely not my favorite jerseys, but for what they did for this tournament and for the short period of time they're going to wear them for, they're not that bad. Anyways, moving on to the United States. Now, it's nice to see a new USA jersey with the letters USA diagonally on the front. I've been a huge fan of that white and royal blue 1960s throwback that they've been wearing the past few years for their World Junior teams and even their Olympic teams back in 2010 and 2014 in Sochi. And it's nice to see Adidas and the NHL kind of have a bit of a nod to that era with that white jersey. Now, the white jersey, I wish it didn't have this random white block on the collar. And I also wish that the waist had the same striping as the arms. And if they did that, honestly, I think this would be one of my favorite jerseys for the World Cup. Now, as for the blue one, I really do not like the crest. And I kind of think I might be in the minority on that. But I'm honestly a bigger fan of the US going with the diagonal USA like the white jersey. I've always preferred that look over anything else, especially with their 60s Lake Placid throwbacks. Now, as for the navy blue jersey, I wish its striping was more like the arm striping of the white jersey. The red and the navy, it doesn't look too bad, but I wish there was a little bit of white trim around the red just to make it stand out a little bit more. And I wish that the red and white on the collar went all the way down and wasn't just cut off. But overall, I mean, these jerseys aren't that bad. But as I say that though, I mean, I'm really glad to see that they weren't super boring and too simple like what Nike did with the Sochi Olympic jerseys. But I feel like these jerseys are missing something, and I wish they would have done a little bit more to them. And I honestly think that they're a few tweaks away from being really good, in my opinion. And I wish they would have used royal blue. Of all the jerseys I've seen that the USA has had in navy, I find that the royal blue looks a lot better a lot of times. But in this case, though, I must say the navy doesn't look too bad. And these are two of the best navy blue USA jerseys I've seen in a while. Now, moving on, let's talk about Canada. First off, I love the Maple Leaf arms. I love how they're a nod to the 1972 Summit Series jerseys. But as for the rest of the jerseys, they're boring. I feel like they're missing way too much. They're very plain, and I'm not a big fan of the logo. I feel like I don't like the shape of it, and I'm just not a big fan of it. I don't really like the shape of it at all. It looks a little bit cartoony. I don't know how to explain it, but I just don't like the logo. And for me, I think that if it was in the exact same shape as their Hockey Canada and their 2010 Winter Olympic logos, honestly, I think that the logo would have actually been really quite decent. And if it had stripes around the waist, I think that would have helped quite a bit too. And another thing I don't like about these jerseys here for Canada is that there's black on the collar, and there's a little tiny bit of black trim around the logos, but there's no black anywhere else. There's not even black trim around the numbers. And there's not even a little bit of black trim around these maple leaf cuffs on the arms. And I really wish that they would have done more. It looks to me like they were halfway done designing these and the designers went, hey, good enough. As I say, I feel like they were missing something. Now let's move on to the Czech Republic. Now I've got something a little bit interesting to share with them, but I'll get to that in a moment. The white jersey, it's not bad, but I wish there was a little bit more going on around the waist. These feel a little bit plain, and I don't like the collar where there's a block of red, a block of blue, and white all the way around. But you know what? These jerseys aren't bad, and I'm a fan of the logo on the front. But I want to talk about that in just a moment because I've got something interesting to share. As for the Czech Republic, I wish they would have just made the shoulders white and not tried to make the whole Czech Republic flag on the shoulder yoke. And I like that the arms are matching on both jerseys. And once again, if that white hem stripe went all the way around on the red jersey, I think it would have looked a lot better. Now to quickly talk about the logo, I hear that there's a chance that the NHL and Adidas might have to change it. And the reasoning for this is because supposedly the Czech Republic has put some kind of law in place where that single lion shield that you see here for their logo on the 2016 World Cup jerseys is supposedly been restricted to only the coins and stamps in the Czech Republic and not for other purposes such as jersey logos. And I find that very interesting. So that's something to possibly watch for. I don't know how accurate that is, but if it's true, it sounds like the Czech Republic may have to put their logo that they've always put on the front of their jerseys as the logo instead of just the lion crest, which in my opinion is a nice logo actually. So if it stays, cool. If not, I can definitely understand it, especially if the Czech Republic has passed a law of some sort restricting this logo you see here to just coins and stamps. Now let's talk about the Team Europe jerseys real quick. I tip my hat to Adidas for being very creative with the Team Europe and Team North America jerseys, as they're not a single country. But as I say that, I think the North American ones were alright. The black one was pretty cool in my opinion, though it could be better, and the white one it wasn't my favorite personally, and I didn't like the gray on the white. But as for these Europe jerseys, once again, they managed to be very creative with them, and honestly, I don't think they did too bad for the white jersey, to say the least. And to create a new logo for Team Europe, I think they deserve a tip of the hat. The white jersey's plain. It's got one arm with like a teal blue and the other side navy on the cuffs. I don't think it's a bad look, but it's definitely not my favorite look. I think they could have done better. But as for the Team Europe jersey, did they learn anything from the Buffalo Sabres' infamous Turd Burger third jersey they finally got rid of about a year ago? That was half yellow and half navy blue. I mean, this is half a dark royal blue and then half navy blue. I'm not a fan of the design at all, and I really don't like it. And I would say that Team Europe probably has the worst jerseys for the World Cup. Now, moving on to Russia. These are by far my favorite jerseys for the World Cup. I mean, I love the design. I mean, I wish that the blue and red stripes on the arms of the white jersey and then the white blue stripes on the arms of the red jersey went all the way around the waist as well, which would have made them perfect. But the way they are now, these are by far my favorite World Cup jerseys, and I like them. I'm a big fan. Now, that's it for talking about the jerseys, but I'm going to end with some final thoughts. For the World Cup, I think Adidas did all right. You know what, the fact that they didn't pull a Nike, I think they deserve a tip of the hat. And overall, the jerseys aren't bad, but just like the Sochi 2014 Winter Olympic hockey jerseys, I feel like they created a lot of unfinished looks, and I feel like they've left a lot to be desired. And I just hope that these jerseys and these very simplistic looks don't make their way into the NHL too much. But the good news is that Adidas owns Reebok, so when they take over the NHL in the, I believe, 2017-2018 season, the good news I have for you viewers out there is that they're probably not going to do too much. And I really hope that's the case, because those three stripes on the sides are bad enough. And a lot of NHL teams, it's bad enough that they had a lot of bad looks that some teams still have today, back from 2007. So I really hope that Adidas doesn't do what Reebok did almost a decade ago now. So anyways, with that, that's the end of this video. I hope you viewers out there enjoyed it, and until I make another video, as always, take care and bye for now.